Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well and are still managing in pharmacies with the new normal, as it were. And we did hear yesterday that there are signs that obviously we're coming out of lockdown in phases, and the first phase is due to start next Thursday when that lockdown begins to move out of its current phase, I suppose, or stage, as we move into the phases and potential getting back to maybe more kind of normality. There's certain activities that we can do obviously from next Thursday, and I won't go into that detail because that's not for here, but it will be interesting to see how that impacts pharmacies. Might have a bit more people out and about. You may have more people coming into pharmacy again. Our colleagues south of the border, of course, are a bit ahead of us in that respect. Now, to be honest, I've not heard any feedback of significant uplifts in footfall, etc. But you never know. There are other aspects of lockdown that we're still working with colleagues around test, trace, isolate and support, etc. That across the whole healthcare and social care sector is quite important, and we'll get as much information to you when we know exactly the impact of that and how that will be dealt with within health and social care. Another item at the minute as well, PPE. We have resolved the phone line issue. Many of you were getting in touch to say that you heard an engaged tone, and actually that was the ringtone that it had, so it was causing a wee bit of confusion there. So that's been changed by colleagues at National Procurement on our feedback, so that's great. And we've also had some good feedback from many pharmacies saying that the turnaround time, so generally the turnaround time for the PPE requirements for pharmacy, which as we know is generally the masks at the minute, if you can't maintain distance of more than 2 metres, then they're actually turning them around in 2 days, so they're getting them out to pharmacies pretty quickly. So thanks again to our colleagues at National Procurement. We do know the pressures that the system is under in terms of PPE requirements across the piece, so it's great that community pharmacy is valued in Scotland and receives that as part of the requirements to help keep pharmacy teams safe and others obviously in the pharmacy. One thing that's developing quite quickly at the minute is NHS Near Me, which for those of you who don't know, and I think Harry did mention it last week, is a video consultation service to allow remote consulting, and obviously in times of COVID to help with social distancing, etc., and obviously people being restricted in their movements and maybe being stuck at home. This has been used more widely throughout the whole health service at the minute, from hospital, secondary care services to other areas of primary care, and GPs are using it quite widely. They're now looking at community pharmacy, and it was originally going to be maybe a couple of health boards that have picked up, but it seems that actually there's more health boards interested in moving more quickly with that. So just keep an eye out in local communications with that. There is resources on the NES TURAS platform for remote consulting around NHS Near Me. There's also www.nearme.scot, which is a patient information website, which gives you an idea of what that looks from the patient's perspective, so you can have a look at that. I was fortunate this week to be part of a presentation by Claire Morrison, who's a pharmacist, who's the lead for NHS Near Me for Scottish Government, and Claire's been involved in this right from the start and is earned plaudits, rightly so, for her work in this area in NHS Highland. And it's an exciting development for Claire and others as this is scaled up, even given, I suppose, the circumstances. But I think it's the right thing to do in these circumstances, and it might help in future, obviously, with housebound patients and in certain other types of consultation where that's necessary. So it's an exciting development. So keep an eye out in your local area, as I say, for that. The last area that I'll just briefly touch on is finance. We've surveyed more than half of the pharmacy network to understand the cost pressures through March and April in particular for the network, and see where maybe pinch points are, so that we can continue dialogue with Scottish Government colleagues around financial support if required for the community pharmacy network. So we got the survey results in last Friday. Our data analysts have been analysing the results and pulling them together in a form that I can understand. So I'll be looking at that from next week, along with our negotiating team and other members of the executive like Harry, etc. So we'll be looking at that from next week, and we do hope to get a proposal to Scottish Government by very early in June, by the end of May, very early in June, around that. So we'll keep you up to date with how that's going. So also just a reminder to keep an eye out on all our newsletters and any mailings that come directly to you as members, particularly the direct mailings that we send out. There's normally a purpose behind that, so if there's any messages in there, generally it's a good idea maybe to read them. So just keep an eye out for all those communications guys as well for further details. That's it today. There's nothing too much else for me to say. If you've got any queries, you can always get in touch with us through CPS, through our phone number, or the inquiries at cps.scot if required. So we're always there to pick up that and get back to you. Now, Harry had a question last week, and he asked the question, what was rumbledy thumps? And I must admit I had no idea what that was. But apparently it's a food dish that comes from the Scottish borders, so it's potato, cabbage and onion. So yeah, rumbledy thumps, quite similar, I believe, to bubble and squeak, etc., which is obviously more of an English dish. So yeah, learn something every day. I've decided to stick with the food and drink theme at the minute, sticking with food, I suppose. And my question today is, which meat is used in Glamorgan sausages? So which meat is used in Glamorgan sausages? So I'll not give any clues or any hints. That's the question. See how you get on with that, guys. And it just remains for me to say, keep up the good work. Hopefully we'll hear this weekend, maybe even from our National Clinical Director around pharmacy. So keep an eye out maybe for Sunday's briefing where Jason Leach will be there. He may mention pharmacy. I've been led to believe that he may mention the community pharmacy this week. So have a lovely weekend. Please take care and look after yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks very much. See you later.